What up? What up? What up? This is your man DJ Square Knot. Yep, I'm back. And we're doing something different today from the DJ Information Group. It looks like we're doing a series. And this series is all about interviewing our own. And in interviewing our own, it wouldn't even be fitting if we didn't interview the founder of the group, the one who keeps it real and keeps it representing, as we call it. Um, he digs in deep, you know, when it comes to the music, when it comes to just speaking the truth, when it comes to just everything that you can think of. Um, I am talking about the one, the only, the man himself, the one that has his own company, Rod Flash Entertainment. Of course, y'all know who I'm talking about now. DJ Rod Flash. What's up, my man?
What's up, brother Square? Now, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. And, I know we're 30 minutes into the next day, but, just rolling back 31 minutes ago, we were in the midst of the closing out the national holiday that we called it, and that was your birthday. So how was that?
Well, birthday was good. I mean, it was a little difficult because it supposed to rain and it didn't rain, but I'm gonna just do what I do. Tomorrow's another day. I'm glad to see another day, and I'm glad to see another year.
Yes.
And I tell people when I say see another year, like I'm 53 years old, but where I come from, the hood I come from, I seen people die at 18 to 25. So, and I'm supposed to be dead at 30. So,
Yeah.
every day of my 30 is a blessing to me.
Yes. Yes. I feel you on that. So you bring up a good point. Before we jump into the DJing, what I would love to do is spin it back to a question that I don't always ask, but I think it's kind of fitting with you, that I do ask this question. And that question is, who is Rodney Smith?
Rodney Smith is a caring, a loving person. Rodney Smith is the guy that would do anything for anybody with no strings attached. I
Okay.
would do more for people than I would do for myself. And that's real talk. Like, I care more about people than I care about myself at times.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And we definitely see that, bro. Most definitely. We definitely see that. So in your giving spirit, in your spirit of loving and caring for others, and putting those before yourself, um, you how can I say, you exert this positive energy that of course allows people to gravitate to you, which and do you think a big part of that, of those attributes that you spoke about just now a few minutes ago, where you are loving and caring and giving, are the main forces to that gravitation?
Well, and I think a lot of people know because I'm more giving to myself, and I'm like real. I give you who I am, and the way I'm giving, I spoke this a while ago. Like me growing up, my mom died when I was 4 years old. Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
I'm real transparent. I'll tell you the truth. Like, I don't got nothing to hide.
Gotcha.
And when my mom died when I was 4 years old, my aunt was my mom's sister.
Hmm.
Now, mind you, it's seven of us. And she was living in a two-bedroom apartment. And she said, I'm not going to break my sister's children up. Like, I got light-skinned sisters. I got little, like, I'm a darker one. But I had aunts and uncles only wanted the light-skinned ones. They didn't want the dark-skinned ones. So she's like, no, I'm not going to never break them up. And me knowing that as growing up, and now as you're young, you hear the stories and you don't believe it's true. Then you actually meet these people, and it was true. And I'm like, that's fucked up. Like, that's like, you don't like me because I'm darker than my other sister. Like, and me growing up, I grew up like, I'm not gonna say poor, but I had everything I wanted. I done things in life that living in the project that most people didn't do. Living in the houses, you know, with both parents working. But what that taught me is if my aunt could do that for me, I'm no better than her to try to help anybody that I can help, you know. And I've always been that way since a teenager. As a child, I always helped everybody else and gave a fuck about me last, if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. And you know, the silver lining to that, bro, from what I hear, because you know, even though in you're talking about that, you know, I can hear, you know, there was some pain in that, but in the pain that you experienced in that, I can definitely tell that you were able to take it and do something with it, and the result of that is the man that you are today.
Yes.
When you talk about how giving you are, how you are with everyone, and everybody knows, if when they meet you that you are just a good, kind spirited guy. You know, you're not someone that people don't want to be around. Like I said, you know, people gravitate towards you, which is a beautiful thing. And that is a reflection of the strength that would you had to build up in yourself, and maybe you know your who you grew who raised you helped with that, but still in all, you were able to come through that. And like you say, you know, you were in a situation to where you weren't expected to live past 18 or even reach 30, but here you are turning 53 yesterday and doing great things. You know what I'm saying? So, and we have, as we talk more, we'll talk about something else that's happening as a great present, becoming 53. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But um, getting into your younger years, you grew up in Philly. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And you're in Philly. You're still in Philly. Philly is definitely your love, your home, and you're cool. Everyone knows Rodney Smith. Everybody knows Rod Flash, so, which is a beautiful thing. At one point, you were very active in the DJ community, correct?
Yes, I
Um,
was.
and you know, so tell us about the activities when you were very active in the community, as you know, in the culture, I should say.
All right, I gotta start from the beginning. Like I said, I grew up in the projects, and a guy by the name of DJ Dr. Shock, and I see him to this day. And he came to my projects. I lived on the first floor, so they need power, so I gave him some power. Like yeah, I mean, plug in, you can plug it in right there, whatever. And what made me get into DJ, I'm like, yo, he playing songs, and everybody, if he say ho, if he say drop your bag, they dropping their bags. Like, and I'm like, how does one person got this much control over people? And I said, I need to be a part of that. And I think I was like 14 or 15. So for Christmas, I said I want two turntables, a mixer, and two speakers. And back then we had BSRs. So if y'all grew up on Techniques and all that, BSR turntables was belt-driven turntable, and they was plastic, you know. And you had probably a Newmark mixer, a Gemini mixer. It wasn't even Newmark; it was Gemini. And you had probably had in Philly, we had a speaker. We had Gemini speakers, or you got some PBSs, which is only made in Philly. And I got it for a Christmas present. And you know, my older sisters and them had records, so I just sell their records and start playing them. But I always heard music around me, so that was easy to gravitate to their music. I just took their records and started playing them. And then my allowance, I would go downtown and buy, you know, whatever was out, and I just started buying it. So that's really how I got my name in the DJ game. And then, you know, and if Philly, if you know anything about Philly, it's like territorial.
Yes.
So once I got my name being in West Park Projects where I grew up at, then you had the Mill Creek Projects over there, then you had a bottom called Down the Bottom. And that's me just doing my thing, and then, you know, in school you make your little mixtapes and you give it out. And then I get to one person, somebody else copy it. Now my little mixtape that I done is all over the city.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you start knowing. And then you always had DJs in school, so you know you get with this DJ. Damn, you DJ? I know you do DJ. Like, and that's how we got started. And that was the born of Rod Flash.
Cool beans. And at that time, like me, you've been doing this since like 1985. It was
85. I started Rod Flash Entertainment in 85. It's always been Rod Flash Entertainment, but I really started DJing like in 83. But you know, I was just born in the house, and everybody come, yo, make me a mixtape. Yeah, I mean, but
same thing here. Same thing here. So Rod Flash, old school DJ. What was okay? You heard you said his name was Scott. What was the guy?
His name was
the one that you said that gave you that you plugged in the
DJ Dr. Shock.
He
was
DJ Dr.
yeah, I mean,
Shock. So
and he like not I ain't gonna say mentor me, but you know, I was a young boy, so he need I mean, but I would say mentor in a sense.
So Dr. Shock, you saw him controlling the crowd back then, and you were like, "Yo, man, this is tight." Besides that point, was there like a particular song, or was there something that you saw him do other than that sealed the deal for you?
I mean, it wasn't no particular song back then. I mean, all you love, you know, all the old school hip hop. I was into that, but it wasn't no song that really got me into it. It was just how this one motherfucker got control of all these people. You know, it's like if y'all would know the Malcolm X story, but it's similar to that. Like how this one guy got control, and then I would see he play a hype song, everybody dancing. He play a slow song, everybody like. So he's the puppet master in a sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really got me like, yo, this is something I need parts of.
I feel you on that. So we all know that Philly is definitely one of the DJ meccas in the world. A lot of great DJs have come out of Philly. And in talks with you, there are several that you have come in contact with. Could you share some of those with us?
Yeah, I can. I mean, which everybody know Jazzy Jeff. He's from Southwest Philly. As long as y'all doing a call tonight, y'all know Tracy Lear's from Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
And in Philly, we section like Southwest, West Philly, North Philly, Uptown. But West Philly, Southwest Philly is not too far apart. So, and a lot of us went to the same school. I went to University City High School. Jazzy Jeff went to West. And from where I live in the projects to West Philly is like less than, I say, 6 blocks.
Okay.
So what it is, and you know, anybody know Project Living, everybody, you didn't stay in the project, so you ventured out. And what happened, I had a friend named Darnell, and he knew Jeff. So, you know what I mean, he like, yo, my man in projects, he DJ and whatever, so he gave him my tape. Yeah, I mean, so he gave me the tape, him the tape. I wasn't looking, like, I give tapes out to anybody back then. And he like, yo, the boy, you know, on Robin Street want to meet you. His name Jeff. It wasn't Jazzy Jeff then. He's like, he's like, Jeff. I'm like, you know me. I'm cocky, young boy, you know. Whatever. I go meet him, whatever. And went to not Jeff's house, but a guy lived 2 doors down. His name was Grand Wizard Russ. And that's where Jeff done and got all the music. Like, if you came in Russ' house, it's nothing but music. Russ was the old head. So we go down there. I start playing my joints. She's like, okay, you all right? Whatever. I'm like, okay. But when I heard Jeff cut, it was something different that I not hear. He like, yo, he like, you good, but you just need to practice a little more. And I'm like, whatever, you know. I'm young and cocky and arrogant, you know. I'm a young boy. I'm like, I'm doing me. Then down the road, I meet Grand Wizard Rasheen, and Rasheen, this like years later, I met Rasheen, and I thought he was like, yo, I toured Jeff. You heard the boy Cash Money, I toured him too. You know what I mean? You young, I'm thinking he lying. I'm like, oh, here tripping, oh, here smoking that weed, whatever. And it comes out, and y'all find out that to be true.
Hmm.
You know, so that's pretty much. And back where I came up, like most people only party within their neighborhoods because that's been gang wars going on, and you didn't have like you weren't going too far to party. I don't know like in New York, but you know you didn't go
Yeah,
far from
certain
your neighborhood.
territories in New York, it was like that for sure.
So you, and that's how I got my name. And then by going to school, and we had MCs and DJs, and yo, you do what I do, and you know so and so, and that's how I started rocking and meeting a lot of DJs in Philly.
Beans. So, as you progressed into your craft, did you find yourself doing a particular type of party, or were you doing street jams, or were you doing like what type of gigs were you doing?
Well, in Philly, like in my projects, we like a big ass courtyard. Like if anybody going to project, we like what y'all probably call park jam, but we just done in our projects. And then I started getting out and getting invited. Like, yo, I need you to come play on 46th Street. I need you to play on 38th Street. And it's just because people I knew, like in school or a friend might have a birthday party. Yo, Flash, can you do my birthday party? And and then once you start doing that, you know your name start to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing for me when I started boxing, because I met a lot of different people, you know, and like y'all probably heard of Frank Fletcher and people like that. And I started doing A parties, and if y'all know about the drug game JBM, I started doing a couple of parties for them because I knew a couple of people that was associated with them. And that's pretty much how my name got out there. I'm not gonna say I was one of the biggest DJs in Philly, no, but I stayed busy and I kept my name out there.
Cool beans, man. So that takes me into the next thing. When you mentioned that you used to box. So tell us about that. What got you into that?
Well, what got me into boxing, I was always athletic. Like I can tell you, I played tennis. I was a tennis instructor, and it's real shit. Like you could like I was in National Junior Tennis League. I was a tennis instructor. I played softball. I played basketball. I just played sports. My thing was I seen what's going on around me, but I had old heads. They're like, yo, young boy, you don't need to be out with us. Go play some sports or whatever. And that gravitated me into sports. And one thing I could say about the way I grew up, it ain't like the way people grew up now. Like the old heads didn't introduce you to that like they do now. Old heads like, no man, take your young ass and play some basketball, do something, and that's what got me in that sport.
Gotcha. Well, that's all right, man. At least they saw something in you to where they didn't want you to get involved in all the negativity in the street and wanted to, be able to have an impact on you that was going to turn your life around for the positive. So that's good. Not saying
Yeah.
that it worked
I mean,
100%
it
because I don't know
coulda,
what you did in the street. Maybe it did, maybe
but then
it
my
didn't.
cousins, my older cousins, was leaders of gangs, so I couldn't do shit anyway. So
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. You was on lockdown. So that's really good. So now let's get into, um, of course, as we know about you more and more, we found out one thing for sure about you. you were definitely into Rod Flash playing some joints. And those joints happen to be some old school joints. Tell us about the attraction to the school music and why.
Well, the old school music is just, I'm the youngest of seven. So the old school attraction was, that's all I heard. Like when I was 18, I was playing in the bar playing oldies. There wasn't no hip hop. I'm in the bar playing the oldies. And the old school music is what I heard at home. Everything started at home. Like, this is what I heard. And, I got my ass whipped, Because, back then you had to do those component sets, whatever. You fucking around with it and, mom with your ass when you fuck that component set up. But at the end of the day, music was all the way around me because I had 5 older sisters and 1 brother. I'm the youngest out of 7.
Gotcha. The youngest out of 7. So, fast forwarding, getting you through high school, you're becoming you're a young man now. What happens in your 20s? Who is Rod Flash in his 20s?
And you know what? It started before my 20s. I was like 18, 19, I graduated high school. Right out of high school, I had a job at the University of Penn. Nice paying job, it's nothing big, you know what I mean? But back then, working at University of Penn, you was making more money than anybody else. Make it like that. And I was DJing, make my money on the side, doing whatever I was doing. And I'm not going to say I was the person I am today. You couldn't tell me shit. I got money. And women like money. You know what I mean? Yeah, I buy a pair of Reeboks. I get your hair done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was. And I had to be about like my 22, 23. Me and my daughter mom went to the same high school together. And this the kicker. She used to work for the government in Washington and D.C. So she came home, we ran each other, we started kicking it, whatever. She get pregnant. Now I'm stuck with my beautiful daughter Sierra, And by what I seen a lot of my old heads that was doing, like, I got like 3 or 4 kids and not taking care of them. I'm like, the way I grew up, like, I knew my father, but I didn't know my father. It was time I asked this guy, he came to see me in a brand new car. I asked what color I was, I don't got no money. And as a child, that always stuck with me. I'm like, if I ever have a child, I will never, ever treat my child the way my father treated me. So that's why I was I'm not going to say overprotective, but I was more giving and caring because I would never want my child to go without anything in his life as long as I'm living. And I'm still that way to this day.
Gotcha. So you obviously, you have an arsenal of equipment, and you like the craft. You love the craft of DJing. And we already know what has attracted you to it. We know that you have remained steady in the culture, the history, and you are continuing to build. And then, we bring you up to the 30s, your 40s. Tell us about those 2 decades before we step into your 50s.
My 30s, I was just the guy that'll go to work, come home, do my little parties on the weekends. My 40s pretty much the same thing. But then I just start seeing a change of how people will react. Like, I have friends like, damn, you think you better than us because now everybody know you as Rod Flash instead of Rodney. And I always tell people, if you know Rodney, you know Rod Flash. Like, I don't change who I am. It's just what people call me. I said, but if you call me Rodney more times out of 10, I'm going to respond to you before they call me Rod Flash. And, I started doing bars. In Philly we have a lot of bars, so I started being popular as a bar DJ, making money. And then I got a break. Guy just come to bar. He owned a club in Philly called Seltzers. And this club like a popular club in Philly. Seltzer was downstairs, which was upstairs. And my old head used to play there. So, old head from the project, he like, yo, I see you making noise out here. He like, but I'm gonna show you something different that you're not used to. He said, I don't know if you got hang. Like, man, it's music. I'm cocky. I'm a young boy. I'm cocky. And so this one particular night, Run DMC done the show. I didn't play none of that, but I was there that night. And he introduced me to the owner. I met Run DMC, whatever. And the owner said, well, yeah, Kev been telling about me. And he like, yo, could you play tomorrow because Kev's not going to be here, or he going to be late or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'll come in. He's like, but what you do, I just need to come in from like 9 or 11. I'm like, it's just music. I don't, you know what I mean? And I was so more into hip hop. I didn't know about no disco, I was just strictly hip hop, you know. But luckily, I had the knowledge because of my older brothers and sisters, as I could switch it up because I knew the songs. And I started playing. And, one weekend, he like, well, can you come back next weekend? Like, yeah, I'll come back. I'm a young boy. I'm cocky. I start coming back like every weekend. So I used to open for my old head. Then there's one particular time he like, yo, I know Kev, your old head, but how would you feel about being a primary DJ? I'm like, I can't do that because I'm making my house parties back then. We do anybody lived in project, you done the dollar parties. Man, I could make a couple $100 doing a house party with the weed, the dollar joints, and $1, and you sold cans of beer. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's my old head. Like, I can never do that to him. And then I'm like, you only paying me like $75. And I know I could go get $200 and split it with my man. So that's $100 a piece, and I don't gotta go nowhere. And to this day, me and my man Special K always talk about that. He like, yo, thank you for not doing that. I like, first and foremost, it's not about money. I love the music. I'm glad that you took me out of the projects. When you take me out of the projects, now I'm down in Center City. I mean, with the big speakers, I had my little 2 gem sounds. I mean, and I expected that, but I will never. And I'm very. Integrity to me is like the most important thing to me. Loyalty is like the key with me. If I'm loyal, I'm loyal to a fault. Well, you could have done this. I'm like, no, but that's my old head. And I always looked at him as my old head. Like, he gave me an opportunity. How can I shit on this opportunity? I said, what you probably done get me and pay me less than you was paying him. So that's pretty much my theory. You know what I mean?
So I know I can, and I will continue this, but I do want to give the DJs an opportunity to ask you some questions. So all you guys wake up. But before I go any further, I want to make sure that I give them the opportunity to talk to you, ask questions, anything that may they've been curious concerning you, and then I'll bring it back to the last few questions that I have. So our first question, we got DJ Big Body. She's here. So DJ Big Body, what's up? BB, hit him.
What's up, Flash?
Hey, baby, how you?
I'm good. My question is, you've done so much and you've touched a lot of lives. What if anything, would you like your legacy to be?
My legacy is, Rodney, at the end of the day, and we all going to do this, and I don't want to say it like this, but my legacy is I was a kind and giving soul. Because I'm really, it isn't very important for me to give back because I had an old head, had a couple of dollars. And he looked out for me. He said, what you do, the way I'm helping you, you pay that forward. And I'm young, I don't know what that means. He like, well, what I'm saying to you, the way I help you, you help somebody else. And I've always been on that mindset.
Okay.
Always had that mindset.
Okay.
Any more questions?
All right. So now we have DJ Miss Official. What's up?
What up, Flash? I'm
What's
sorry.
up,
I
baby?
keep falling asleep.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Start falling asleep. I am sorry. But I mean, like he said before, me and him, we had our disagreements, but it's always a disagreement of something that we actually both agree on. You know, he's in the older bracket of the DJ game, so there's some things that he know that I don't know, but I always appreciate Flash, and you know, keep doing your thing. Get a little deeper in the game. Come on back, you know. So
But you know,
show the young bucks how it still go.
but no, it's not so much of that. It's like, and a lot of times it be the age difference. Like the game today is not the game when I was out there. You know, and I tell people that, like, I talk to young DJs, I'm like, they be like, but old head is not the same. I said, but what I don't like, y'all disrespect the music. And when you disrespect the music, you disrespect me and you disrespect the people that came before you. And I'm not saying you, but I said in any industry, you learn what came before you. But nowadays, they like, I don't give a fuck what came before me. And especially on the business part, the money y'all making, I was making that shit in 85. But then when you try to tell them, oh, here, you don't know what you're talking about, is different now. I'm like, so the work, the same, we doing the same shit. And I said, different, when I was doing, we had to carry records. You carrying CDJs and CDs. I mean, we had to carry amps and all that. So a lot of times, and I see your ambition, and I'm just talking to you. A lot of times you remind me of my daughter because you very ambitious. And I can be wrong. But if you stuck on something being right in Mr. Official eyes, you ain't seeing no other way until you actually sit down and really think about it. But at that moment, I'm only saying what I'm saying. You know. And like I say, like my daughter is 29. Actually, she's 30. So I get it. And I don't want to lead people down a road where you got old heads not telling you the truth. Or everybody trying to make $1 off of you and they not telling you, well, you could be doing this and you could be doing that and make more money. But when I came up, it wasn't nobody telling me nothing. A lot of stuff I learned it was on my own. I learned the hard way. And I got burned a lot of times. You know, I was fucking with drug dealers. I mean, I thought I was making money, but they like, damn. At the end of the night, he got XYZ, but I got paid. I was good. So that's why a lot of times. And another thing, when there's an age difference, your mindset is not my mindset. But there's no disrespect. I will never disrespect, first and foremost, anybody's child because I have my own. And when I say child, I don't mean, I know you grown, but like, I will never do that because, and like I tell you, like, I never liked my father. Never. And if anything, I'm here to help any and everybody than be disrespectful. And it's like, yo, if I say something disrespectful and you feel as though yo, hit me up. Like, my number's on Facebook. Like, hit me up. But I don't hold grudges. We could disagree, and then 5 minutes later, we joking again. So I don't never want you to think it's directly negative energy, because that's not something I'm about.
Cool beans. So the next person we have, you got another, oh, okay. We got the next person here. DJ I95.
Happy belated birthday, Flash.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, my brother.
Not a problem. I got 2 questions for you.
Sure.
3, actually.
It could be 4. Yeah, I mean, I'm here. I'm very transparent. Like, I don't.
All right, 1 question. Have you ever played the Plateau?
I done the Plateau with a group called the Ducky Boys, and I DJ while they rap. I mean, I was on top of the, you know, the little pavilion and all that, where the hot dog stand and all that. Yeah, I done that.
All right. These 2 go hand in hand. What was the best record stores to go to in Philadelphia?
My direct record stores, and see, I might have to take you a tour around the city, because it was Golas, which a lot of people would know Armand from Golas. It wasn't called Armand back then, it was called Golas. You know, I went to Funko Mart, Sounds of Market, I went to Sounds of Upper Darby, Sounds of Germantown. And we had this spot where you find a break, what's called 3rd Street Jazz. You know, so I was that dude that listened to all kinds of music, and I knew a lot of different people. So the older people would turn me on the records, and I just try to go find them.
And the next question is, how big is your record collection from 45s to 12-inch?
Well, now I gave away, literally, and I think Square Knot was the one of my calls. I gave away 20 crates of records.
Oh my God.
No lie. I think Square Knot, I done a live one day, and I think Square Knot wasn't on it. I believe he was, to my man Stefan. I gave him like 20 crates of records. He came from Virginia, because what happened, the way my house is, the house next door caught a fire, and we had smoke damage. And
Okay, Flash. I don't think I heard the story. I don't think you want to do that because we recorded.
I mean, it's done. There's nothing I can do. Like, and I'm not the one, if I give you something, I don't ask for it back. Like,
Right.
it is what it is. And that time, I'm like, I'm in the CDs, and I never thought I would get back, but I got about, right now, I probably got 2,045s and about 1,000 12-inches right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
But I wish I had that shit back, but, I mean, the insurance company paid me for it, I mean, but I gave it to somebody that I knew would do good with it. So it really didn't hurt me. And at the time, I wasn't really DJing. Like, now I tell people, I do parties because people know who I am. Like, I do, like, and this is a joke, but I'm a 34th degree Mason honorary. So I do a couple of Mason events.
Okay.
But yeah, I do like more old school events. Like, I don't do nothing young. Like, you don't call me for your 21st birthday party or whatever. But yeah, that's what I do now. And it's just because of the relationships I have with people.
All right. I'm going to say this in the best Philly way I can say it. From this young bull to an old head, I'm so thankful for you being an older brother. I really appreciate you.
And you know Philly. And I'm gonna say this directly to you. You know Philly. You know Philly don't look out for nobody.
That is true.
And I'm a different person because I live in Philly, but Philly is not who I am. I'm Rodney Smith. At the end of the day, Rodney Smith, DJ Rod Flash, whoever you want to call me. I'm always going to be me. And without people helping me along the way, without people doing stuff for me along the way, I won't be the man that I am. I won't be a good father to my child if I didn't have old heads instilling in me like, yo, you don't gotta be doing what they doing. You do the right thing, you know. So that's why I'm always giving and caring person.
I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that, bro. And
And
happy
like
belated birthday again.
thank you, I appreciate it. But like I tell y'all, any of y'all can hit me up anytime. If you don't have my number, it's on Facebook. I'm not hiding, you know what I mean? My number, you go to Rodney Smith page, my number is there. Like, you hit me up, if I can help you, I'm willing to help you with any and everything if I can do it. And that's real talk. Like, I don't put on airs because I'm the founder of the group or this, that, and that. That's who I am. You know, that's just this person that I am. And like I told y'all, I get y'all stories where I normally don't share my life story. But if you knew the way I grew up and the stuff I had to go through, and to be successful that I am, I'm not rich. I mean, I'm doing well for myself, but where I seen guys that I know doing life in prison, guys that died when they was 18, guys that I know strung out on drugs, you know, and a lot of these people I looked up to, you know, so I'm always the kind of giving person.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. So now, if he's awake, wake up, Joe.
I'm woke, man.
DJ Joe Storm. What's up, my man?
What's up, Square Knot? What's up, Rod Flash?
What's up, Joe Storm? How you doing, sir?
Happy belated birthday, my friend.
Oh, thank you. I mean, you know what it is.
Man, I really ain't got no questions, but I'm just gonna say this. From day one, you know, for me first joining this group, you know, when Flash only had a few people on the group, and when I got a chance to talk to him and hear his voice and catch his spirit, he's always been the same person. So even though we haven't met physically, I feel like I've known you forever, man. So,
Yo, that really, I really appreciate you for that. Like, I'm like a leopard. I can't change my stripes. I can't change who I am. You know,
Right.
I can never change who I am. I don't gotta meet you, but if I get that connection and I feel though you real and genuine, I'ma be me, and I can't change who I am. And you know what? And sometimes me being me hurts me sometimes because everybody don't see the picture that I see. Everybody's not the kind of giving person that I am. You know, but I can't let that other stop me from being who I am. So, you know, and like I tell anybody, if anything I could do, I do it. You know, I don't do it with no strings attached or I want to say I'm this and I'm that. Like, I give an example. And me and Square Knot, and I got to bring Kim in it, but we wasn't this one group. We wasn't this group where everybody talked about what they had.
right.
It was about more what they had. And you know what? When I broke off, I'm like, yo, I need a group where we actually going to help and do something. It's not about what I have. It's not about what Square Knot had. I mean, Trad was in a group, you know, but I got tired of, if I bought a speaker, I bought 3. Or I bought this hard drive, well, I got 4 of them. No, that's not what it was for me. Like, and I know who I am. And I used to share music in that group also. But to me, the music sharing is not mean nothing to me in a sense where I'm like, if you came up the way I came up when you had to have your own records, then I couldn't give you a record. If you want Lady Elma, then I had to give you my 12-inch. Now, I can send that shit over the email.
Right.
So it's a little different, but I'm always that kind of giving soul, man. Like, and I don't hold grudges. Like, we could argue today, tomorrow, and once that conversation over, it's a done deal. I don't hold grudges, and we could agree to disagree, but that's how I am.
Cool beans.
So keep being who you are, brother.
Yo,
Also,
it's
Black
one
King.
thing, I always gotta be me, because the only life I can live is mine.
Right.
And I tell people this, and my daughter, if she was here, she could attest. Like I said, I started working at University of Penn when I was 18. So when she went to college, I said, listen, this is what you do. I know college a couple of dollars. I had a nice little 401k. I'm a young boy. You know, I'm bragging. Like, me and mom ain't together, but me and mom still fucking around. But, like, I'll pay for your college. So every year, I would take that out my 401k to pay my daughter college tuition. So that way, when she graduated, she didn't have the debt to pay back. Because I'd rather see somebody else be here and I'll be here. Like, because I don't need all the gratitude and all that. I just want to be that person that's like, at the end of the day, I can live myself helping somebody else get to where they at. And that's what anything I do in life.
Gotcha. Well, let me see. I don't know if Big Said want to ask anything. He's just out there with the cigar store lounge closed. They on the block. But while that's going on, the other remaining questions that I had, and I think it's just a couple, is, you know, you left your projects, and you now are living. You got your own crib. You said you're in South or North?
I'm in West Philly.
West Philly. So, West Philly, but you never forgot where you came from, and you guys formed
The West Park Originals.
an organization called West Park. West Park, what was it?
Originals.
West Park Originals. So tell us about that, and tell us about the nonprofit behind that.
Well, of course, I never forget where I came from. Like, that was the start and the mold me as being a man. If anybody that lives in projects, you know that shit would toughen you, and you seen stuff that you would never want to see again in your life. But then also to help you in your life as being a man. So the way I came up with West Park Originals is every time I would see people is going to somebody's funeral. You know, Bobo passed, I go to his funeral. Fuzzy passed, I go to his funeral. And that's the only time I would see my homies. Like, we all grew up. Like, you know, everybody got life going on, life situations, family, whatever. And one day I was like, yo, I'm tired of this. So before West Park Originals, I said, you know what, I'm going to bring my equipment back to West Park and just do what we call the West Park Reunion. You know, everybody come back and have fun. You know, the old people come back, and that turned out to be very successful. So we done that for like a couple of years. And then again, what happened? We don't see nobody to after that reunion and to another funeral. So I said, is a way I need to connect with people that really understand who I am and I understand who they are. So I came up with the idea of West Park Originals. And what we do is we more of a social club where we old people from West Park. I'm not going to say old because I'm not old. But we get together and we meet monthly. And we start meeting monthly, start raising money. Then we start doing a book bag drive. So the first book bag drive, I think I raised like $3,000. I'm like, I'm on to something. We give them back, And as that being like, okay, so we on to something. And then we start having our, what we do annually, we do 4 events. We do the hoodie party where and y'all might see in my picture. Hold up, I might could change it. But this hoodie, we y'all see the hoodie I'm in now on this picture? So I'll move out the way. But y'all see this hoodie? We sell that hoodie. Y'all see that hoodie?
Yeah.
All right, we sell that hoodie for like $25.
Okay.
And from the profit, we go rent out a bar. I think the bar like $100 to rent, and we have a hoodie party. And if you wear your hoodie, you get in free. You don't have a hoodie, you pay $10. I mean, you eat, you don't drink for free, and we raise the money for that, and then we do a fish fry. We do raffles, and we just do that for the reunion each and every year. And like with the COVID, like I still got money that we get like $2,000 from the city also every year. But this year, you know, since nothing was done, so we didn't get no money this year. But we still got like, I say like 3,500 in our little treasure, you know. And that's what we do. Like, and we try to make sure we get to do the book bag drive. We come out, feed everybody and stuff like that.
Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans.
And but you know the funny thing is, I really like. I'm always still helping people.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that me helping people is the way I was brought up. You know.
Well, like I mentioned before, you know, from, you know, what you learned about your childhood, it made you, as you got older, you analyzed yourself and some of the upbringing that you had from who your relative was that did that had some influence, and through all of that and seeing how the difference of the void and how being able to handle the voids and manage those to make you stronger made you be and do the things that you do. So, you know, that's it's just an all around beautiful thing, man. And you know, that's why we give you, you know, so much love and support and everything with what you do, your endeavors. And you know, we're here for you, man. You know, we're proud of you
Oh
and
yeah.
how you have taken this group and taken it to a new level.
True.
When you first came to me,
We, and you know, I'm never about me. Is
yeah,
we
well,
done this? Like,
yeah. Well, that's where I was getting. So once you got, you know, you brought the group online, and then you was like, hey man, what's up, man? Come over here, you know. And then you made me an admin, and you was like, hey, we're gonna build this thing. We're gonna do this, and you know, this group is gonna be about, you know, real teaching DJs and information. And I was immediately attracted to that because that's what I want. Because, you know, of course, in the other group, it was about, you know, what you had and how many you had, and
yes,
after a while it got kind of old. And then also the biggest things in there was a lot of egos and emotions, and you couldn't say anything. Everybody had thin skin.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, as soon as you said something they didn't like, all of a sudden you sitting there in the Zoom session, and then the next minute everyone's out of the Zoom session. So, you know, and that, you know, I was like, wow, you know, really, you know. So it just got to be a hassle. But nonetheless, you know, we have come together. We got a great group. We got a beautiful team that works together, and we have managed to build this group into something to where what we're doing right now, as a matter
And
of
you,
fact. So,
but you know what? This wasn't my vision to see. I thought you were gonna be a little Facebook group, and we just like, yo, seriously,
yeah, yeah,
because I don't look at something being as big. I just probably was going with the moment, and with the stuff we doing now, it's like it become the job for us. Like,
yeah, yeah.
you know, and And I see the little smart shit people do. Like, they might have 5,000 members, but everything we doing, they copying.
Hmm. Yeah, well, that's because we have impact and we have influence. We're influencing them, whether they accept that or not, or believe that or not. And
Oh,
and
yeah, they see
and
it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm fine
exactly.
with that,
Like,
because I didn't create how to speak in a microphone. I didn't create
so,
how to
right.
reach out and talk to someone. I didn't create, back and forth emails and none of that.
Exactly.
All I'm
Exactly.
doing is making sure that we handle our business to make sure that we can get people in here to share and spread knowledge. And that's exactly, we've been successful with that. So that's truly a plus and a blessing. So, but you as the founder, man, and me as the co-founder, and then us and the rest of the team in here, we got a great set of brothers and sisters in here who have been very supportive and have worked, and we've seen a lot of growth in this group. As in the individuals in this group, we've seen growth in them with them being in the group, being able to stand on their own 2 feet and just do all kinds of things. Baby is a prime example of that. So we and that's why we stand beside her and behind her, and she's like in the center. And, we can see her,
Exactly.
everyone can see her from the front, but we got her back. You know what I mean? And same thing with you. We got your back, and that's just how it is. And it's just a beautiful thing to see, just how much this group has really, really grown. And it comes from the influence and the camaraderie that we have for each other. And that's the part that touches me. That's the part that continues to have me believing in who we are as a group and where we're going to go. And like I said, and I predict this, within the next couple of years, man, we're going to be throwing our own conferences. We're
Yo,
going to be throwing our own
and
conferences. We're going to be doing our own thing. We're going to have sponsorships. We already got people that are looking out to us, reaching out to us. As a matter of fact, we had someone reach out to us tonight about someone coming on the show.
I
So,
mean,
and that's just how it is, and it's, it's not a bragging thing. It's a thing of where we are starting to make an imprint. We're starting to make a serious impact on what we design, what we set out to do, and that is making a mark on the culture in a positive way. So, and we're
and I
doing it.
think it's because we always say leave your fucking ego at the door.
Yeah,
We don't
no
need
doubt.
that. Like, and if everybody, like, I know everybody on this call is in other different groups,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in different groups,
Mm-hmm.
but just think about all the groups y'all in. What are they doing that we didn't do, or is they on the level of what we doing?
They see
Not
either they're
not
still
even
growing or they aren't doing anything, or they're, doing things in a different way that some are not as successful. And you got some that may be doing it, but, of course, they're always researching. So you'll find some that'll pop in to see what we do. So,
Yeah,
I've seen
exactly.
it
And I
all
know
different
a
kinds
lot of
of
that
ways,
to
so.
be correct for sure, but and with a lot of groups, everybody into titles. Like, I don't gotta be known as the founder or this and that. I'm a member like everybody else.
Mhm.
Like, it's not about. I don't wear that. That don't make me happy.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I only go win if the team winning.
Yep.
If the
That's
team
right.
not winning, I'm not winning.
Well, hey, that's what I say. Teamwork makes the dream work. I know that may sound cliche, but
But
it's
it's
the
true.
truth. It's the
Very
truth.
true.
So it's one of those things. And we have some great people in this group, man. And
Very good
it's
people.
it's and it's and I definitely see that it will remain that way, because we do with what we do with the monitoring, with how we express to people what we look for in this group, and the different things that we're doing in this group, and the posts and everything. So that's all going to come into play. But it's been truly insightful, my brother, to have you share, even down to the deepest of your life with us and with the group. That just gives us more insight to who you are, what you've gone through, and how your strength has really elevated and brought you to be Rodney Smith, aka DJ Rod Flash of Rod Flash Entertainment. So we appreciate you. We love you, man, and happy belated birthday to you. I know them Budweisers feel great. We're gonna have to replenish you, so we'll take care of that. And it's just been an honor working alongside you as your colleague. And like you say, it is work that we do, but I think it's good work.
Exactly.
And you know, it's good work that we continue to do. And there's nothing like being happy to do something like what we do. You know what I mean? So that makes a difference. And then when we constantly hear, we get the accolade of, you know, I was nervous before I came in here and y'all made me feel so comfortable. Or, man, this group is not like other groups. I'm really enjoying this group. Or, you know what? You guys really did your homework, and we really appreciate that, because when we go elsewhere, the interviewers don't ask questions like you guys are asking. You know, when you hear stuff like that, man, it makes a difference, and it tells us that we are doing the work right, and that we are just going to get better and better over time with it. So that's pretty much all I have for you, my brother. If you have anything else before I close out.
I mean, I need all y'all did y'all homework, right?
Yeah.
I need each and every one of y'all to send me a old school mix.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't say hip hop. It could be funk or R&B. And I don't want to hear the popular songs.
Okay.
Like if I had to play house music,
Well, it doesn't have, and it doesn't have to
You
be old
got it.
school. Okay.
gotta be old school.
BB says she got it.
You
Okay.
got me.
Gotcha.
If you do it, and you do a good job, I'll buy you a cheesesteak.
Okay.
Anytime you come to Philly, I got you a cheesesteak. No, I'm joking. But one thing I'm gonna say before I end this, well, you can stop recording. But
No. Go ahead.
I love y'all like y'all my family. I spend more time with you guys than I spend with my own personal friends.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day. And I don't take that for granted at all. You know, like I talk to Square and I hit Square not up. And I'm gonna share the story. Like my man, we call him Basalini. His name is Hearn. So I was hanging out one night, talking to my man. Like when it comes to that masonry stuff, he the man. So I'm like, yeah, my man, the mason, this, that, and the third, like whatever. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I showed him a picture. And one thing I do not do is lie. And Square and I can tell you, I called him. He said, you think I'm the shit? Your man is the shit. I'm a step below him. Square and I, did I call you that night? Is that
Yeah,
true
you
or not?
did. You did, and you put him on the phone. Yep, we talked for a good little while, and we're connected to this same guy. Yep,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
sure are.
so what I want to say that for y'all to take from this is don't be afraid to reach out. Yeah, I mean, we here to help one another. Like, Big Body reached out for her show. Like, I helped you. Like, I had no problem with doing that. Joe, when he was doing his show, he reached out. I had no problem with doing that.
Sure.
I'm more so of giving.
Yeah.
I'm not a receiver. Like, you know how you got some people are takers? I'm the giver. You know? And I don't do it for a pat on the back and none of that bullshit. I do it because I genuinely like to help people. And that's who I am. And that's what I'm about.
Cool beans. You know, and that's a good way to close that out, man. Because that's you. That's your fabric. And and that is real. That is a good person, a good-hearted person, a good man, someone that when you think of Rod Flash or you think of Rodney Smith, the word that comes to mind that should always come to mind when it comes to him is dependable.
Very.
And that is the word that describes him to a T and the fabric that he's made of. He is dependable, and he's definitely one. The second word would be giving, and unconditionally, giving unconditionally. So good man to know. You're definitely a great man to know for so many reasons. Just being just the person you are, just period. Not even for what you do and what you give, man. But from day one that you and I clicked, it's been on and popping ever since. So, and it's going to continue to be that way. And I truly believe it'll be a lifetime that way.
Yes,
And
sir.
when we finally get a chance where this pandemic, we got to control on this thing. I know this group here, we're going to all get together somewhere, somehow, and we just going to have ourselves a blast. Even if we got to do it over a period of a weekend or a few days or whatever, we will make something happen.
Or we just pick a meeting point
Yep.
where we just make a meeting point and meet up.
Yep.
Or it don't gotta be a week. It could be like a little weekend. I mean, whatever.
Weekend. Yeah, we can do a weekend. Whatever it is, we're gonna make it happen. So, but we'll play that by ear, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do. And Said is now standing here. You got something you want to say, Said? All right, bro. Well, when he sees this video, he's gonna be like, man. But anyway, Flash, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. And I'm going to go ahead on and close this out like this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have spoken to a true man, a king, someone who has a heart of gold. And gold is precious. And this man here does everything, and it comes straight from his heart. Everything that you know about this man. He's a teacher. He's a leader. He's a dad. He's going to be, and speaking of that, we didn't speak on that. He's going to be a grandfather, y'all. And that's coming soon. And that's a blessing in itself. So I can't wait I'm welcoming him to the I'm going to be granddad boat. And then finally, when the little one gets here, I'm going to be definitely making sure that we welcome him to the grandfather boat for sure. We don't know what he's going to be called yet. But we're going to mess with him until then. So we're going to give him all kinds of names. But it's going to be all good. Brother, we love you, man. We appreciate you.
Right.
And it's just been a joy knowing you and continuing to work alongside of you. And as we build this thing together, all of us in here, all this in the group, I just foresee bigger things happening more and more each day. So we thank you. And this is your man. This man that I speak of is none other than DJ Rod Flash, a.k.a. Rodney Smith.
Go get
My
your
man.
Budweiser.
Go get your Budweiser.
Go get
Peace
your
out.
Budweiser.